Design is the opposite of practical. It's big, it's loud, and it has limited ammo capacity. But in gaming and esports, the Desert Eagle is prized for its ability to make everyone go,
Oh, so simple!
It's not a subtle weapon, but if your aim is on point, the Deagle can become a powerful trusty sidearm. So how did such an irregular and powerful handgun come to be? And what's its role in gaming and mass media? Today's Esports Armory brings in the likes of Tens, Vanity, and more to tell us what makes the Deagle so unique. The Desert Eagle has appeared in every Counter-Strike game, but previous to Global Offensive it was labeled the Nighthawk 50 caliber. In Valorant it's known as the Sheriff, sporting a more classic revolver shape, but still packing that same punch. The size of the Desert Eagle also gives it the commanding and distinctive silhouette that has made it such an icon in action media. It became the quintessential power handgun on screen, appearing in The Matrix, The Sopranos, Akira, The Walking Dead, and many, many more.
Wowawoo.
This led directly to the weapon's rise in video game popularity, being crowned as the highest damage pistol in most games that feature it. So let's go talk to the pros and get their take on this ridiculous weapon.
I think when I first started playing Counter-Strike, the Deagle was definitely one of the more harder pistols to learn. Mainly because there is a trick to it, and you have to learn the certain techniques to use the Deagle correctly. But first starting off using the Deagle, it was really hard. The recoil was wild, and it just wasn't something I was used to.
I think the Deagle is definitely like the most rewarding gun from Counter-Strike. Like, I think it's the most skill related. There's a lot of RNG in the body shots, but I think headshots definitely are one of the most satisfying things in Counter-Strike.
Funny thing that like a lot of people don't notice is like the logos or the sort of manufacturing brands that are on the weapons. Those manufacturing logos have names to them. And so the Sheriff and Marshall all have sort of like a cowboy hat kind of logo, and that's because they come from a company called Frontier. And so we're sort of like trying to create our own in-world universe with that kind of thing and reflect that from the manufacturer as well as the name that it has.
The Sheriff is one of those few weapons that it doesn't cost very much, but has the potential to single-handedly flip around on its head. Right, whenever you see a player with the Sheriff, you often think, well, their economy's broken, they're going against rifles like the Vandal or the Phantom, and right, you don't expect players to win rounds when they have to bring Sheriffs going into Vandals or going into something like that. But because of the way that the gun is built, because of how much skill is required to really capitalize on it, doesn't cost you much, but if you can make that bad boy sing.
Shots. Michael, Mitch goes huge!
So my thoughts on the Sheriff is either it'll be amazing or it'll be horrendous, like absolutely terrible. I think the Sheriff is such a hard to use gun that when you whiff, it looks really bad. Calling the Sheriff the mini-op, I mean, kind of in a way, but at the same time, it can do stuff that like a rifle can, which an op can't in this game, since the op is a lot more slow and immobile in this game compared to like Counter-Strike, for example. So the Sheriff, yeah, I get you like can call it the pocket op, but really it isn't like kind of the same as the weapon.
I love the Sheriff compared to the Deagle in CS because me as a Reyna main in Valorant, I love just entering the site with a Sheriff, one shot, one kill, phase away, go get my other opponent, and I really find this weapon to win you eco rounds in Valorant, and it's super strong. The only con about it is sometimes you can do 140 damage to it from long distance, when a lot of people have been saying it should be a kill, but you know, we can't have everything perfect, I guess.
The Desert Eagle packs a punch in a way few other handguns do. And with a distinctive frame that highlights sharp edges and eccentric finishes, what it packs in firepower, it also packs in style. Essentially a handgun-sized rifle, the Desert Eagle is one of the largest, heaviest, and most powerful semi-automatic handguns in the world. The trade-off for that power is magazine capacity. You're only allowed 7 50 caliber Action Express rounds. For more on the Deagle, we're bringing in British Army veteran and military tech advisor for the latest Call of Duty, Hugh Daly.
Today we're going to talk about one of the most unique handguns in the world, but one of the more popular handguns in the video gaming world. The Military Defense Industries Desert Eagle 50 caliber. It's a unique gun. It's a giant pistol and has a 7-round capacity. It doesn't get used very much in the real world by special operators, but gamers love it. From James Bond to Fallout, it's been a popular pistol.
In a game like CSGO, 7 rounds is 2 more than needed to wipe out a whole enemy team if you can one-tap your opponents.
Into 3 with the... Oh!
Compared to other pistols, its $700 price tag makes it an expensive investment, but one that can pay dividends if you're good enough.
From anyone on a scoreless in this tournament, and now they're getting bumped.
First conceptualized in 1979 by Bernard C. White and Arnold Strindbergs, the original design for the Desert Eagle housed .357 Magnum rounds typically used in revolvers at the time. Their design was then manufactured and refined by Israeli military industries, which produced other prominent weapons like the Uzi, Negev, and Galil. In 1983, the .357 Magnum Desert Eagle became available for purchase, with larger caliber variations like the .44 Magnum and .50 caliber Action Express releasing in 1986 and the mid-1990s. The weapon's massive size allows the gun to be extremely versatile when swapping calibers, requiring only a change in barrel, bolt, and magazine to make the switch work.
Using the Desert Eagle in a pistol grip stance is hard enough. You've got to be pretty strong and a hell of an experienced shot to hit something at 200 yards with a 50 caliber round. Well, obviously video game players are attracted to weapons that they know of and that they're familiar with. And the Desert Eagle was very quickly picked up by Hollywood armorers to use in blockbuster films.
Anybody tries to stop me?
And of course, the most iconic use of it was by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. So why isn't it used around the world by Delta, by SEALs, by SAS, by some of these major deep dark special operations units? Well, basically it comes down to this. They get resupplied with 9mm and .223. They don't get 50 caliber rounds. So if you carried one of these, even as a private purchased sidearm in the real world, after your 7 rounds, you're pretty much out of luck.
The Desert Eagle. Style, substance,
Sorry, Charlie.
and a lot of firepower. In a pinch or in an eco round, it can turn the tide of battle with a single thunderous shot. So, if you're packing the Deagle online, just remember, it's always quick.